Hey everybody, this is Tanya Barnett of Let's Chat with Tanya Barnett, and I'm super excited about this series celebrating mompreneurs. I have a fantastic, the epitome of mompreneurs on here tonight with me, the fabulous Ella Rucker. I am just humbled that she said yes when I sent her an email. There wasn't any type of, well, what is it? And it was just yes. So I am so thankful, Ella, for you joining me tonight. I know, everyone has something going on. We got our babies and our kids, but thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. And I'm so proud of you. So thank you so much for having me here.
Awesome, awesome. So tell us a little bit about Ella Rucker. I know your backstory, but I always like to start out these interviews just people sharing their backstory to let us know how you got to where you are today. Because a lot of times people just see, millionaire, mastermind. We start up Paul Rucker, Paul Brunson. They see all these things, but for those who don't know, you just give us a snippet of your backstory.
Okay, well, the snippet version would be about 17 years ago, I lived in Ohio when I wanted to be a writer. I was writing in Ohio and doing that whole thing. So I came here, got a real job, whatever that entails. And then around 2008, when everything was going, south, I got laid off from my job. And I got another job pretty easily, then got laid off again. And around that time, I got pregnant. But I had retirement money, I had 401k, I had severance, I had unemployment, I had enough to sustain a mom.
Mm-hmm.
So those best laid plans are really, they do crash and crash fast. What happened is I ended up on welfare, evicted, and 6 weeks after my baby was born, my actual stopped running, getting it serviced and stuff. 'Cause I was worrying about the baby, right?
Wow.
So left from under me. Everything just kind of went downhill, and nobody was hiring. I was working in telecom, and nobody was hiring. Once you have a phone in your desk and the economy goes bad, you don't need new phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't get hired at Marshalls. I couldn't get hired at Target. I couldn't get hired at temp agencies, even my own temp agency that I worked for years, who I used to hire people, couldn't get it was TV. And I said she had this big hair, she had 2 kids, she had a book, and she had recently been let go from CBS. And I
Mm.
said, you know what, I could get with that. She's a pretty cool person. So I followed her for a little while. And every time I asked her to be my mentor, she was too busy. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, I could be your admin, just let me get that little space on my resume that says I had a job. Because that's what would hold me back from really good jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Back and forth. And she finally said yes. She paid me a little bit of money. And I was like, look, if I had the money, I'd pay you. Because it was just that good opportunity, right? And so we worked together for 2 years. I went from being her assistant to like writing 4 or 5 posts a day on her site, doing some ghostwriting in certain other areas, just doing enough to make sure that I had enough to make enough for my family.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Disney World I think we went to Disney World 3 times with her. It was just a great
Wow.
job. I mean, it was perfect, right? Then that relationship dissolved, and then earlier in the year before that relationship dissolved, I had written to Paul Brunson. I said, "Yo, I don't know what your situation is, but you cute." Something like that. And but I was like, I don't understand. But I was like, my goals for the year are this, that, and the other. And then like during that year, I was just kept in contact with him, and he was even on my radio show. And when he needed something, I said, if you need an editor or whatever, just let me know. One of his writers went on vacation for Mentor Monday, and so he said, can you do it for me? I said, sure, I'll have it to you in the morning. Wrote that up. Next thing I know, he called and said, could you, be the producer for my show? And from
Wow.
there, he gave me a part of Mentor Monday, and then we created Weekend Startup School, and then he created Convo. So when he decided to not be a part of those entities anymore, he sold them to me, and that's how I became the owner of 3 businesses in
Wow.
17 years. So yeah,
Wow.
that's
That
how that
really is a
happened.
nutshell.
Yeah.
Wow. That is fantastic. And the part I love about your story, Ella, is that you were ready, you were willing to start somewhere. And I think a lot of times, especially in our entrepreneur journey, people don't want to start anywhere. They want to like start here and not have to
Hmm.
put in the work, not have to put in the time, the energy, blood, sweat, and tears, losing sleep. Behind building up their enterprise, basically, and that's what you did. You started from the bottom, and really in the bottom, that's where you get to learn from other people, as opposed to, okay, I want to be a Steve Harvey. Well, Steve Harvey had to go through a 30-year process to be
Hmm.
where he is today. So wow, that is amazing. So what kept you going during that, instead of saying, you know what, I'm just gonna go work at the mall and that's my lot in life? What made you say, okay, I'm gonna reach out to this woman because da 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 da? What made you say, I want to do something different?
Tanya, I honestly, it felt like corporate America was just spitting me out. Like I was humble enough to go to whatever job interview I could go to.
Hmm.
I was, I was, um, I knew my worth enough for the jobs that were at my salary range. Like, look, I'm going for this salary. I wasn't cutting myself short where I
Hmm.
didn't need to. And it was just one of those things. It was just one of those intuition kind of things. It was just my gut that said, this is what you really want to do. And at first I was even afraid to tell her I was a writer. I was like, yo, don't even tell her, because I didn't want her to think that I was trying to take over her job. But when she realized
Hmm.
I could take over that position, it helped her out. And it really helped us make money because the things that she couldn't do, somebody was paying her probably to do. And then she would pay me that money instead. So she could do the bigger things.
Okay.
So it just made a lot of sense for us to keep going that way. Like I said, I only really wanted it for a little while. I didn't even want it that long, but it just kept working out that it was the
Hmm.
best way to go. So that's what it was. I'm not gonna say I didn't try that. It just didn't work for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So how do you manage now? You have a brand new baby, so congratulations on her. So
Thank
how do
you.
you manage now, having a baby, and then you also have a school age child? How do you manage being a mompreneur and raising two beautiful girls?
Well, in preparation for I thought about this interview all day, and I kind of, I kind of like even I don't know, just always do that kind of thing. Think ahead. That's what you have to do, right? As an entrepreneur, you
Uh-huh.
have to be ready for the
Yeah,
questions, and
yeah.
um, so I have a 10-month-old and a 7-year-old, and one of the things my 7-year-old was always really good at entertaining herself. She could just sit in a corner or right next to me and say, "Okay, we're gonna do this all day." We just sit there all day and just I'd work and she watch videos. So I was worried when the new baby came, but she'd be like that, and she's not like that in general.
Mhm.
But what it is oh, let me tell you the story too. This is what I want to tell you.
Okay.
I went and got my hair done this weekend, like maybe for the second time since the baby was born. It was my old hairdresser who did my hair, and my hair is kind of falling out and it's
Mhm.
getting thinner, right?
Mhm.
So he's like, it just needs to be nourished. It just needs, some time. And I thought about that. It was really just getting to learn both of my girls, getting to learn who I am now, because I'm not the same person, and really accepting the fact that you're not the same person anymore helps a lot. Really realizing that they're their own people and trying to really stay in tune with who they are and what they need,
Mhm.
and realizing that, yeah, me, like if I come home, I'm eating first. I'm sorry, I'm hungry. And I'm not going to be able to feed you if I'm hungry. So
Right.
I know that about myself, but I also know what they need too. And I know just trying to stay in tune with all of that and what you really can do and what you can't do anymore. Forgiving myself for that
Mhm.
and working within that construct. That's how I do it now.
Wow, and,
Yeah.
and and the fact that you said you eat first, I facilitated a workshop at John Hopkins, and it was put your oxygen mask on first, and that
Mhm.
was the title of it. And so I did some research on why, and I found some videos of what happens when you don't have your oxygen on. And I mean, there were simple things that this gentleman could not do because of a lack of oxygen, and so
Mhm.
even nourishing once you eat, I know me, when I'm famished and I get something to eat, I'm like, woo! You know, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like like that Snickers commercial, you know, you just feel like
Right.
a totally
Exactly.
different person. And so
Uh,
I applaud you for that, because I know a lot of people will always put their kids first, kids first, kids first, kids first. And I think Christine St. Ville wrote a blog post about that she does not put her children first.
mm-hmm.
You know, and so that's really key for a lot of moms to hear, because we deal with
Mm-hmm.
that mom guilt, and you know, I'm supposed to always be about my kids, but if mama ain't right, nobody's right. That's just
Right.
my philosophy, in
Right.
my house. So.
This lady gave me some really good advice when I was having my first daughter. She's like, put her in the crib because she can cry. It's okay. And then as I think about it, they wouldn't cry if crying really hurt them. Something's bothering them, yes, but they're
Mhm.
not hurt because they're crying. And
Right.
like, if I just had you in my arm, I just put you down and you start crying, you ain't got no sympathy for me because I know you fine, right? You just want some attention. I'll be there in a minute,
Right.
So
Right.
they're okay. So yeah, I'll eat first and all that. Yeah,
That is
quickly,
so
quickly,
cool.
but still. Yep.
Hey, you may be freeing up some moms right now who are like starving, trying to cook, and you know,
Uh-huh.
feed the kids. She, you know, got a headache, fussing, arguing with the children, everything, because she hasn't put herself first. And I
Hmm.
think you're maybe the second mom to say that through this whole series about putting yourself first. And let me ask you, how important is that with everything? You got your new business convo and all that. How important is putting yourself first? Like, how do you find time for yourself?
To be honest, I really like my children. I mean, like, not in that people don't like their children way, but I spend a lot of time with my kids, and
Mhm.
so my downtime is really with my children.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
I don't mind that. Like, I don't mind sitting here. Like I said, she'll watch her videos while I do work. Or if
Mhm.
I want to watch Big Bang Theory, she's sitting right there. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And sometimes she'll watch Big Bang with me. Oh my gosh, we started watching Friends the other day together, and they were
Mhm.
talking about sex. So I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. So
Mhm.
or I watch Henry Danger with her. We spend a
Mhm.
lot of time really in each other's space, and I don't mind that. My downtime is really spent a lot of times with them. And you asked the question last night, like, what's the secret? I don't want to get onto your questions, but
Okay.
my secret would be I actually do have a 9 to 5 now. With the new baby, I needed more income. So I do
Mhm.
work a 9 to 5, but it's 9 to 3, so it's very short time.
Mhm.
So I usually use my subway commute time to read or whatever. Even
Mm.
even when the baby's sleeping in my arms on the subway, I'll just read or whatever. So
Mhm.
um, time, even when they are with me or when I'm getting them to and fro, if they are sitting still, I'll use it as my time, and that's how I
Wow.
do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're using, it's basically using your time wisely, as opposed to, you know, you have this dull downtime, and it's so funny. I tease my husband all the time. It's like he'll sit and watch Black Ink and all these other things, and then the next day he's like rushing trying to, and I'm like,
Hmm.
you were watching TV. You could have had the laptop in front of you. You could have been working. You know, but
Uh-huh.
everyone operates differently. So
Right.
you basically put your ever while you're commuting or things of that nature. So that's pretty cool. That's real
Hmm.
cool. So
Thanks.
how important is support? Do you have a lot of family support and help with your babies?
I spent 2 months with my sister when I had the baby. So that was great. But like, they don't live here. I moved from Ohio, so my family doesn't live here. So
Oh.
so that's why we spend a lot of time together. It's not like, oh, you can go see granddad today because you can't.
Mhm.
Recently I have had a lot of support with the daycare where the baby goes. The owner was a black woman,
Mhm.
actually has a daughter my oldest daughter's age, and they've been taking her for me on the weekend. So just having down to one kid, all
Okay.
right. They took
Mhm.
both of them once. And then once since then they're taking the oldest one. So I think that, like, just that one little small thing is just life to me right now. As you know, my
Mhm.
daughter used to come to my events.
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
ain't even, Christine St. Ville, like you said,
Right.
she grabbed her one weekend. She's like, look, you doing this. I'm speaking at your event. Even she was even speaking at my event. She left my child with her husband.
Right.
Kirsten Fuller, I think you know her. One time I had Joelle sleeping in the back of a room, and I was speaking in another room, and she just happened to fall asleep in this room. So it's just certain things. I think I'm just very blessed to have people around me who, even if I don't ask or don't advertise, Alexis, you know her too. She
Mhm.
does she helps me a lot at my events. she'll do, that, but baby duty. I don't want to like leave anybody out. Everybody helps me. So I have that kind of support. I have that real support where it's just, I don't scream out, I need help, but people who know me know I need help. And so they'll do what they can so I can spread the good word. So yeah, that's the kind of help I have. Yeah.
That is good. That's cool. And I love seeing when people bring their kids with them, because to me, it just shows that you value. And it's not a knock against people who don't bring their children, because me personally, that's my time, to receive and, things of that nature. But to me, to have your kids, and I remember when Paul had Jill and, the boys with him, and I was just like, wow, this is dope, that he's got his family here. That just was like huge to me. So I really appreciate that. So let me ask you this. What is one obstacle that you had just personally to be the mom or the woman that you are today? Just one obstacle.
Okay, I didn't know this question. What's the obstacle? I don't know if this is an obstacle, but I know the thing that freed me was telling people that I was on welfare. At first I didn't want to tell anybody, especially in my professional life, but it really, it wasn't as embarrassing, and it was definitely more helpful to other people than I really truly thought. And people knowing that, it really freed me up to really help people. And I think getting over that obstacle, that's the one thing I think that helped me the most. Was just the shame I felt in like having had that lifestyle happen to me. But that's just something that happens to people, and we wouldn't have the welfare office if it didn't happen to a bunch of people. So that's yeah. So that one.
Wow. Yeah, because that happened to us in 2012. My husband lost his good government job, and I was only making, I think at the time I was making like $27,000, and we had 3 kids, and I had to go down to social services, and going in there and the way they even treated me, and I'm like, yo, here's my government badge, I work for the
right.
But, so I kind of went in kind of shameful, but then the next part of me, I was enraged, because I'm like, you're treating people probably because of my skin color, and then the fact that I'm in here, you treated me like I was less than a human being. So I totally understand the shame part of it, but I use that as a way to say, look, my husband, lost a 6-figure job. I'm a government employee, and yes, we're getting food stamps and WIC and public assistance for our insurance and things of that nature. And I put it out there. I even did a blog post about it, to let people know, yo, not everybody that's on welfare is considered a deadbeat or whatever. There's real working individuals who are receiving services.
Right.
And taking that shame away from it. I'm certain there's so many other people who are dealing with that or have dealt with that and just never share.
Right. And not only that, but I mean, like, I worked since I was 15. So, I mean, I put in, it's getting back what you put in. And once you throw that out there, you're like, look, I've been putting in this FICA. Come on, give me my money back, So,
right. Without the attitude.
Exactly. Yeah.
And also, it's real, because becoming an entrepreneur, it takes time. So there are going to be those dull times where I know for us this summer coming up, since I won't be working a long-term substitute. So in the summertime, I don't get paid.
Right.
It's going to be that lull time. So it's like, that's when we tighten up our belts and we try to stay, leading into the summer. There's some months where I don't bring any money in, and there's some months where I do. So, I think it's important for mompreneurs to understand that you have to be patient. There will be times where it's not rolling in. I know there's times I've told my husband, like, when is the money coming? I'm working so hard. But I know it'll pay off in other ways. I see the connections that are happening in my life organically. I'm not like chasing people. It's like people are coming into my space, and I know if I cultivate those relationships, that are other places that right now I can't see, but I'll be able to see a year or 2 from now. So
yeah, and like, I think I've seen a lot recently where people are shaming people, saying, "Oh, you aren't really in business if you are broke." And I'm like, you know what? If you check my receipts from last year, you check my taxes, I'm broke because I keep putting money into my business.
Mm-hmm.
So I want any person out there who's thinking, or who's at that point now, who's just broken and think, well, I'm not as successful as a business person. And shout out to, I'm not going to even say because it's not even my idea, but Kara Stevens, the Frugal Feminista, and I were talking about that today.
Mm-hmm.
Is It's about, you know, knowing what you bring to somebody, getting those emails like you've been getting for this series that you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and taking that stuff and saying this is where the success comes in. It's not doing it for the money so much. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we all want to be rich, and trust me, I'm looking to buy an island one day. No shame. You know, the mastermind you came to will be on an island one day.
Right, I
No
know that's
shame, right?
right. And I
So
will be there.
thank you. So it's about that. It's about what you're building, and most people think, and this is no, most people think you didn't get good at your job until 10 years out, right? You came in
Mm-hmm.
as an entry level person, and you were okay with that because you were working for somebody else and they were giving you this little bit of money,
Mm-hmm.
and you waited until they gave you that big check, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why are we so hard on ourselves to think that we're going to start this brand new business because it's our passion and we know something about it, but we might not know so much about business? So, give yourself some time to grow into that position of CEO, because when you first get there, you don't know how to be a CEO, and you shouldn't be making that big CEO check because you're not making those big CEO moves just yet. So, give yourself some time and, forgive yourself. And like you said, those lows will come, but you just got to learn how to plan for them. Like this job I have now is planning for those lows, because
Right.
I know they're gonna come. And trust me, every week some money goes to the kids, some money goes to the food, and some money goes to the business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how it has to happen. So
Wow. That is
yeah.
wisdom right there. That is yeah,
So,
I really appreciate that. So what is in the works for you? What do you have coming up like the rest of this year? Do you have some another let's talk about your book before we get there. For
okay.
those who have not heard about your book, I have your book right here.
Oh. Me too.
I'm telling you, I sat here and I think I read it in a week. Because what I did was I took my time and read each chapter, like one chapter a day. It's a
Uh-huh.
very thin book, but I purposefully just because I wanted to digest what I was reading and really
Mhm.
understand and grasp, and it really freed me to even do this series. Sometimes I references, I'm like, beauty about to start, just start, and perfection will come later, or it may not come
Mhm.
later, but at least start. And that's what I'm doing with this. I've had technical difficulties and all that jazz. However, I'm still going. So tell us a little bit about your book.
Okay, the beauty of an ugly start, 12 simple reasons to get over yourself and take your idea to market today. It's really just about what I just said. You're not going to be the CEO that you want to be today. Your idea is not going to be perfect today. One of my favorite examples is aspirin. Aspirin was not it wasn't candy coated. It wasn't all those things way back in the day. You just took you some aspirin, and if your stomach rumbled when you were taking it, then that's so be it, because your head wasn't gonna hurt. But then
Right.
they started, all these iterations, tablets and gel caps and all this other stuff. You have to solve the problem first and then get cute with it. So your idea is not going to be what you think it's going to be. And a lot of Silicon Valley people will tell you, not only is your idea not going to be what it is today, it'll be a completely different idea.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be ready for that. But it'll never be anything if you don't actually start it. So I give you 12 different scenarios and different things that'll happen, like collaborations. Like, you said, things are happening. People want to collaborate with you because you just started it. They say, oh, it's out there. I sent out a press release for my failed. I don't know if you saw the email that I failed up.
I love that, because I was like, ooh, I like the headline. I effed up, and I was like, ooh, yes, I love
Thank
that.
you.
I still have that, and I actually printed it out and I showed it to some of my coworkers. So yes, I really enjoyed that
Well, thank you. So,
one.
But I sent out a press release and I got 3 people who responded back to me and they all want to work with me, even though it failed because they see the potential in the idea. So, you have got to just go out there and put yourself out there and start something because people will want to collaborate with you to make what you have better, to
Mm-hmm.
offer you their services. Cognitive dissonance where, for this book, I had 12 ideas, but I didn't have 12 stories. So basically, everything came to me as I was thinking about the book. So those are the kinds of things I talk about in the book is, things that happen to you once you start your idea, how you can make it better. Sometimes I went to college to be a doctor. I didn't become a doctor because I didn't like the consequences of children dying if I was a
Right.
pediatrician. So, maybe your idea that you think you're passionate about writing, about making t-shirts, let me tell you, maybe you're not. Maybe you don't want to sell anything. Maybe, whatever it is, your idea might be something that you love, but something that you can't pull off. And not that you don't have the talent, you don't have the passion, the real passion for the work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the beauty of Ugly Start is. It's just 12 things that happen to everybody that will say that you make like, oh, wow, that's what's going to happen. Then I need to go ahead and get my idea started because it happens to all of us. And if once you push through, things will happen behind you to help you get that idea to where you want it to be or to the thing that's going to help society solve the problem that you want to solve.
Right, definitely. And referencing back to the email that you sent out about failing up, that was really key because I had to, as you know, I had to cancel an event and I felt like a
Mm-hmm.
failure.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but just going back and you were like, Tanya, okay, it's okay. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
now's not the time. It's okay. No worries. But for a minute, I really struggled with, hey, maybe I didn't market enough, or maybe people don't. All these things, I'm having these conversations, not understanding the timing just wasn't right. I did one in
Mm-hmm.
December, and by January, people were over it. It's
Right,
not me.
right. Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I liked about your email that you sent out.
I never told you the story. When Paul and I did our first weekend startup, we had like the night we said it, 70 people signed up.
Mm-hmm.
But something was wrong with our payment processor and we couldn't get them processed. So once we had everything up, all 70 of those people were gone. Like not one person re-signed up that I can remember. And if they did, it was like 5. I mean, it was not. So we had to go through a whole process of marketing again just because our payment processor wasn't signed up or wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens. And like we had to struggle to get 60 more people in that door. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it does happen. It happens up to a lot of people and people think, oh, every event is this, that, and the other. I don't want to name names, but I watch people who promote their event up until the very last day. And I know it's because they don't have all those seats filled.
Mm-hmm.
And, we think, oh, it's popping, it's popping. It's popping, but it's just hard. It's not as easy as we think it is. I work with a lot of people who are famous and they're coming to me saying, Ella, can you help me? I'm like, I don't know how I can help you, you know, but, but I have, and
Mm-hmm.
we did this thing where we actually competed against some of the top marketers and Paul and I won, and I'm like, wow, so, but she needed our help. So yeah, people don't realize that everybody needs help, and it's very hard to market. Even what's her name, Marie Forleo, Derek, I can't remember his last name, Tony Robbins. They all use a network to help them push their ideas. And once we learn that that's how the game works, it'll get a lot easier for us.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. And I like what you said about network and having other people help push your event because a lot of times we just want to do it and we want our hands on it and we don't want any help because
Hmm.
we want to keep all the cash or the cheese or
The
whatever.
cheese.
But sometimes with your network, you may have to pay a little bit of cash to get somebody to do your marketing for you or to do your content or do your Facebook ads and things of that nature that will help you propel your business. And so I like the fact that I'm noticing now that relying on my network has really pushed me and it keeps you when you fail at something or fail up, they keep pushing you. It's
Uh-huh.
like, okay, you can't lay down here and cry, have a pity party. You have to
Right.
keep moving. What is the lesson to be learned from here so that you don't make this mistake again? My pastor always says, failure is action. And so I always keep that in my mind that it is just data collection. This didn't work, so let me, try something different.
Yeah, I think I posted that today or someday I posted that. Yeah, you can't win you have to try and try and try again. Trials is trials is trials. It's not, you got to keep going. If not, I mean, you can't let one failure stop you. You can't even let two or three stop you, So,
Right.
and
Right.
it'll all work out. It'll all work out. People just, you got to get used to that feeling. Walt Disney failed like 300 sometimes trying to get funding for Disney, and like look what he
Right.
has now. So
Right.
yeah,
Right. And he
yeah,
has like, it seems like an eternal legacy. Like that will never go
right,
away.
yeah.
Disney's not going anywhere,
It's not. It's not. And he bought Swampland. That was Swampland, and he turned
Right.
into something else. So it wasn't like literally an ugly start. It was literally Swampland, right? So he built a whole world. So yeah, thanks.
I really appreciate, you sharing your story with us, encouraging us. I'm just really enjoying just learning from you. So what do you have coming up next?
Well, what should be next is Kwanda Lamb is having a Mother's Day, not Mother's Day, but a brunch in love, I think. I don't know what the name of it is, but we're doing
Okay.
that in DC on July 22nd.
Yay!
So look out for that. And then sometime, hopefully in August, I'll be doing another weekend, millionaire mastermind for entrepreneurs. Millionaire, that's not the name of it, but anyway, so it's a mastermind for millionaires. But you don't have to be a millionaire. It's just really so you can start thinking about being a millionaire. I've been reading a lot of books lately. Um, about Elon Musk, habit forming. I read Steven Siebold's book about um, being a millionaire, just about the mindset that we have as people. When you're a middle class person, you don't think like a millionaire. And as I read more and more of these books, my internal thought processes change. They really like the
Okay.
questions I ask myself have different answers because I've read the book. Elon Musk it was like December 24th, and his business was getting ready to close. He needed like something crazy. I'm gonna make up the number, like maybe $120 million. It was a
Mhm.
crazy amount of money.
Wow.
And whatever bank he was going through, this is my unabridged version. This is not the way the book said it, but they were throwing him chunks out of shade, and he was like, "You know what? I don't need your money." He's like,
Mhm.
"I'd rather close the doors than take whatever they were getting ready trying to give him." Right?
Mhm.
And so he was going to close his doors over $120 million, but like in the last hour, he found another investor. Who even
Mhm.
looks for another investor after a $120 million failure, right? But he did it like within 24 hours and found another investor. And so when you think about that, I'm looking for like $30,000. That's it. I need $30,000 to get this event to where I really want it to be.
Mhm.
And I've pitched it, I don't even know how many times now. I'm not close to 300, but probably around 200.
Mhm.
And people keep telling me no. They keep saying, "Oh, the pitch is great. I don't have the money. Why do you need so much money? Whatever, whatever, whatever."
Mhm.
But when I think about 120 million versus my 30,000, it's nothing. When I
Right.
see I don't know what the question was, but anyway, that's what I have on the
It's
horizon.
okay.
But why we have to think of like millionaires? We keep thinking that in a small-minded way. So this event is so that you realize that the bigger your event, the more serious somebody's going to take you. A $500 investment is nothing to anybody. They'll probably just throw it at you and not even think about you again.
Mhm.
But if you just ask somebody for $30,000, you're asking for some attention. Millionaires do that. They ask for big numbers, and they just think differently. So that's what this event is about: is how to think that way and start putting yourself in a position and your business in a position so that you're not just using PayPal for your processor, but you're using small business bankers as your friends, building up those networks because
Wow.
they'll help you finance anything once they realize you can create something, right? You're
Right.
creating a product here. You have over 50 shows now to show somebody and say, look, I can do it. So you're going to end up on 106.1, right? On the
Yes.
FM dial. and and now because you have you've brought somebody a product and they can trust you to bring them real results. And that's what this event is about. It's how do we create your event, your mindset, so that you create real results and start making real money.
Wow. I never even thought of what I'm doing in that vein. I'm just thinking, I just want to celebrate mompreneurs.
Right.
I never saw it as like collateral or showing someone that I can add value. I just helping me see it. Now I'm on my way to have a millionaire mindset. See, y'all have to go to this event. So when she puts this out there, you will see it coming across my timeline, probably in my newsletter. We have to support each other, especially since she's giving you the tools to think like a millionaire so that you can take your life to the next level. And I just think that's really important, especially as moms. You know, we're always on our feet, always, you know, on the go. And we should be elevating just like our children are. Our children go to the next grade every year. You know, they're learning a new skill, a new concept. We need to do the same thing.
Right. Like my 10-month-old right now, she's doing that thing where, you know, they fall back on their butt. They fall back on their butt. And like then nothing in her mind is telling her that on her butt is where she should stay. She's on the way up. No matter what she's doing, she's going to keep progressing. And like having those people, like having kids makes you, I think, sometimes a stronger entrepreneur because you can watch their progress and how they're doing things and be inspired by it. So, yeah.
Wow. That's a great example. A 10-month-old, and her mindset, she's like, I am going to get this. I'm going to stand one day, and this fall today, I'm not going to sit here and I'm done.
Right, exactly.
I'm not going to try again. You know, even when babies are trying to walk, you know, it's the same thing. They fall several times, but they're like, I'm going to get this walking thing. That doesn't mean that I'm a failure at walking or I'm a failure at standing. So yeah, that is, wow, that's powerful right there. So I'm going to, you shared that you have a gift for those who would be on this Facebook Live or those who catch the replay. And what is your gift?
The gift is if you go to thebeautyofanuglystart.com and /realwife, you can get a download of my book, a free download of my book. And you get it right away, and it's a $15 value. The download's $10, so it's $10 value. So you get it free, and you can start your entrepreneur journey today by reading the book.
Awesome. That is very gracious. You don't see too many people giving away free books.
Well, thank you.
There's few and far between. I know Lamar, Tyler gives away a free book. You don't see too many people giving away free books. So this is fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Something to educate us, to take us to the next level. And so, especially in the Black community, they say if you don't want us to know it, put it in a book. And I know. Reader.
Right.
Every time you say something or I catch you on Facebook, you're talking about a book. Even in this conversation, you've already referenced about 5 or 6 books. So
yeah,
if you're watching this, you need to write those down. Go back, hit rewind, scrub back, whatever, and write down the title of those books so that you can get your mind right. And when your mind is right, then your life can be right.
Yeah, and if you want to know, I actually have this thing. It's called, if you go to bit.ly/Ella Amazon, it's where most of my favorite business books are. I just had, it's not about the money. I don't care if you buy the book from me or not, but those are the books. That's why I kind of keep a collection of books for people to read that I've read. And so, yeah, I keep them there. My favorites to recommend. They're in there.
And that's bit.ly/Ella Amazon?
Yep, Ella Amazon. Yep.
Okay.
And when you download the book, I also ask you for your email address, but it's not mandatory that you give me the one to get the other, I don't think. And there's a challenge if you sign up for my email list. Same website, thebeautyofanuglystart.com/realwife. If you go there, in that email sequence on the Millionaire Challenge, are 5 of the books that I really love and why I love them and how they made Oprah money. They didn't really make Oprah money, but this is what I assume the book she might have read and what she might have gleaned from them to make like $60 million in one day or something like that. So,
wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you know
Wow.
she made $60 million in one day, right? You knew that.
No, I did not know that.
Oh, for Weight Watchers, with Weight Watchers, when she became the spokesperson for Weight Watchers, their stock rose, and her stocks in that company gained her on one day like $60 million. So yeah,
Wow.
it's incredible. So yeah,
So we need to start reading.
yeah,
Like for real.
yeah.
Audio book, something.
Yeah, I can give you 1,000 examples of why reading is, of course, still fundamental. And I know reading is fundamental
Right.
because you do some wonderful things for people who are looking to build up the lives of children. So you know
Mhm.
how important books are.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much, Ella. For our parting part, what is one book, a quote, a scripture, a song that keeps you motivated? A scripture, a quote, book, song that keeps you motivated.
One of the things that I enjoy the most, and most of anything I read or anything that keeps me motivated is geared towards the law of attraction. You get what you are, or what you believe, or what you think, or what
Mm.
you meditate on. And there's this thing, I'll send it to you, this link that you probably seen on my timeline a million times, but it's Will Smith talking about the universe. You know, how the universe is liquid and it wants you to tell it where to go. And whenever I really need something or want something, I kind of turn that on in the background. And it's like, Ella, believe it, believe it, believe it. Because, everything that you do starts in your mind and your heart first. And
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that. And I just know that, we go through things, but we get out of things. And if you think about what you've been through, you realize that you first believed it in your mind that it was going to happen. I don't know how much time we have, but one of the things I did
Go
read in
for it.
Steve Sebo's book about the middle class mindset is not weird, but that mindset is about winning the lottery. I gotta win the lottery, I gotta win the lottery, I gotta win the lottery. What if like you said, I'm gonna blow up overnight? I'm gonna blow up overnight. It's not a working mentality. It's like it's always about luck. But
Mhm.
millionaires think about the long term. How am I going to build this up? They
Right.
don't want it right now. It's not an overnight kind of thing. It's a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll wait and they'll build. So that's the thing that gets me motivated is just starting out and listening to how Will Smith even started versus what's going on in his life right now. Because
Right.
that's what happens. You have to believe it first. And he
Right.
went broke too.
Right. And I think about when you said that, I think about even the railroads and airplanes. Someone had to believe that they were crazy enough to believe I can build this airplane that's going to fly and it's going to carry people from one place to the other. And then it had all their haters to say
Exactly.
that'll never happen, and
Hmm.
here we are. Here we are communicating this way when, back in the 60s on Star Trek, this was fiction,
Exactly.
science fiction, and now it really is a reality.
Exactly. Exactly.
And some kid
Exactly.
probably saw those Star Trek and said, I'm crazy enough to even try to come up with this type of technology, and here we are. So wow,
Exactly.
that is fantastic. I'm gonna have to look up, check the Will Smith
But
out. And
I'll send it to you. Trust me. It's right there. I got it. I'll get it for you.
awesome. And then the other Will Smith that I saw recently was when he jumped out the airplane.
Hmm.
And it talked about how, it was a fearful, experience prior to, but then after it was done, it was like, it's done, you know?
Right.
And so I experienced that just yesterday, dealing with a lot of fear. And I didn't move forward with something. And thankfully, I was able to, before the end of the night last night, I did move forward, and that project is now on its way. So
Right.
now I'm just looking for the funding for it, and I know because of the type of project it is. And I sent you an email too
Right.
about that is going to. My heart behind it is to bless little girls who need to see positive images of women like you who are
Thank
holding it down and just not taking no for an answer, and who are really grinding it out for your family, and you're honorable, and you're still a woman,
you.
and it's like, I don't have to cuss anybody out or be grimy or anything to be somebody.
Hmm.
I don't need that 15 minutes of fame or, to be on Real Housewives or whatever to feel like I'm somebody.
Right.
And so, that's the premise behind my new book project, is so that we can get these books in the hands of girls so they can see women that have their same skin color, who have very different backgrounds, and who are where they are today. So I'm really excited that I moved forward.
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't as scary. It wasn't as, in my mind I played, okay, all these scenarios, people are going to say no, I'm going to be rejected, but every single person has said yes so far. So,
And you know what? It's we play those tapes in our minds, but the funny thing about it, and the funny thing is I've been rejected so many times, and I still do that. I still go through that, and it's you just got to forgive yourself, move on. And I'm wondering now too. I've been watching a lot of people do this Facebook out to the universe kind of thing, and I'm like, I don't do it as like that, but I think there's something to be said about Facebook. A lot of us wouldn't even be halfway where we are without Facebook, or social media in general. So, maybe it is a new step forward in just believing and telling people what your dreams and your goals and your problems are, because we didn't have that back in the day. Back in the day, you only had the person living to the left and to the right of you to tell what you wanted, right? And that's why the 6 degrees of separation. But I mean, at this point, I feel like I'm like one degree from almost anybody at this point, to be honest with you, And it's just because of how we interact now. So yeah, putting it out there and letting people know what you're going through. Somebody else has been through it, and they can have your back as well, and it'll help you. It'll help you.
Hey, cutie pie. She was like, "Okay, mommy, enough. It's my turn."
No, she went back to sleep.
Well, yeah. I love for being here with us tonight. I really appreciate your time, and I'm just honored to just call you a sister friend. I mean, really, you have encouraged me just watching you, and I'm really thankful for our connection. And so, thank you.
Well, thanks for having me. And like I said, I wouldn't really be here if it weren't for people like you who were sitting in the front row looking at me like, look, you better tell me something, So I appreciate you for, being there and for, trusting us with your dream and your message. And I appreciate you. So thank you very much for having me.
And I do want to give this one sidebar. For weekend start of school, that was the first time I spent anything over $100 on myself. I had never done that. I was shaking filling out my registration. I was like, $297. Oh my God. And it's 2 days, So, but I stepped out there on faith, and I was just like, it's my time, it's my season. And every single person that I met there, I mean, Anita, I don't know if you remember Anita, who sat behind me. She was like, I don't do social media, I don't do Facebook, and now she has that Anita live show. It's just.
You know what? Every move she makes, I email her. I'm like, remember that lady who didn't have her social media? This is what she's doing now. I do it every time, and because Paul and I hopefully. I think this is our unique selling proposition, and people, it's hard to explain, but our network is tight. Oh, really, really, our network is it's real. It's not just you sat there, you had 60 people in a room, and maybe you came away with 10 people, but they were 10 strong, hard body, gonna ride or die with you for the rest of your life, 10 people. And I'm very proud of that. So yeah, I thank you, I thank Anita, I thank everybody, because we couldn't have been successful without you guys being serious. Woohoo!
Right. Well, I'm gonna let you go. Tend to her and her needs. Thank you again, and I cannot wait to have you back on Let's Chat with Tanya Barnett.
Well, thank you so much. Have a great night, and I appreciate you.
See you later.
Congratulations. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.